Hey y'all, welcome back to 25 Sweetpeas. So today I'm going to be showing you the Zoya Bridal Bliss collection that has just come out. Basically, this is a compilation of some of their polishes that they've already had previously released that would be perfect for a wedding or anything leading up to a wedding. In addition, there is one new polish which is called a Brighton, and I'm just going to go over all of these polishes right now, so let's go take a look. First up, we are going to start with Leia, which Leia is a top coat. You guys did already see it. It was released in the Kisses collection. Well, not really released in it, but released with it. I don't know. It wasn't, one of the core shades, but they paired it and suggested it, and I think you got it free if you bought the full collection. So there is one coat. This is a top coat, but I will go ahead and show you everything in this collection in two coats. Okay, we're going to go in for our second coat, and you do need to keep in mind that this will not be full coverage in two coats because it is a topper, but I will also show it to you as a topper. So there is two coats. Now I'm quickly just going to throw in one of my other nails. I have it as a topper on this nail right here, and it is on top of Abbey, which you guys will be seeing later in this video. And here it is on top of various different polishes. Next up we have Brighton, which Brighton is the only actually brand new released polish in this collection because this collection is organizing a whole bunch of their older colors to show you guys what would be great for a wedding collection. But this one is a brand new release and it is stunning, and I could totally see why it is in a bridal collection. It is like a nude, but then it's majorly holo. And as you can see, that first coat was really nice, and we are probably only going to need two coats and we'll probably have full coverage. I feel like this is going to be one of my favorite polishes from this collection because it is so different and fun. Plus, I don't feel like many mainstreams do polishes like this, which makes it even better. Now we're going to go ahead and take Brighton in for a second coat. And as you can see, it is covering completely in that second coat. It is just a beautiful polish. I was a little worried that this shade of a nude shade wouldn't work on my skin tone, but I feel like when you look at it, not necessarily in this shot right now, but in pictures, I feel like it looks pretty nice. So there it is. I hope to capture the holo a little bit better in the swatch photos, so stay tuned for that. There's a little flashlight action, even though, yeah, I can't really see anything. It was worth a shot. Next up we have another super neutral color. This one is called McKenna, and this one does have a pearliness running through out of it, but you can't really tell whenever you have it on. I'm not sure you guys are even going to be able to tell on camera, but hopefully you will. But there is one coat. You can tell it's still a little streaky in a few spots, but one coat that covers pretty well, and I'm pretty positive we're gonna have full coverage in just 2 coats. Okay, we are now gonna move on to our second coat of McKenna. And as you can see, even though this does have like a pearliness in it, you don't really have to worry about brush strokes because honestly the pearliness kind of just disappears. But there is 2 coats and we definitely have full coverage. Next up, we again have another nude shade, but this one definitely pulls a bit more of an orangey yellow. This one is called Chantal. And this one doesn't quite work that well on my skin tone, but it is still a really nice polish. As you can see here, it's going on nice. Even though it is a little sheer in a few spots, it goes on really nice. I mean, I don't have any running issues or anything. So there is 1 coat. Okay, it is now time to try our second coat to see if we reach full coverage. And once I even out, we have full coverage in just 2 coats. I'm sorry I got a little weird on the side. I'm kind of at a weird angle when I'm doing this for the camera, but there is 2 coats and we definitely have full coverage. Next up, I have one called Loretta. Now this one is not quite, it's not quite a polish that you would wear on its own. And this is definitely more of your super sheer French base because as you guys can see here, it's not doing much. I feel like it's kind of just color correcting. So if you have any discoloration on your nails or you just want to even your nail color out and kind of just make it all bright and clean looking, this does a really great job. As you can see, there is 1 coat. I will show you 2 coats, but the second coat doesn't really change it all that much. However, this is super, super great for a French manicure. I will show you how you guys will get a French manicure with this look because I did it that way and took pictures to share with you guys. So there is 1 coat. And now on to the second coat. Again, you don't have to do a second coat if it meets your satisfaction in just 1 coat. But there's the second coat. As you can see, it did give it a little more of a milky finish. And now is the time where I would go in and put my white tip on for my French manicure. And then I would cover it in a shiny, glossy top coat. And I would have a nice French manicure, which I'm actually going to show you pictures of. So let's take a look at the photos. Next up, we have Avril, which I have to say, on the computer, it looks a lot more pink than it does in real life. So, just kind of like a friendly reminder to take what you see on the computer not nearly as seriously as what you might see in real life. This is more of a dusty mauve color compared to what I saw on the computer, but it is a lovely polish. As you can see, it is a bit more streaky than we have seen with most of these creams. But there is 1 coat of Avril. As you can kind of tell, it kind of started to level out while it was drying. But it is now time to put on our second coat, which we should be able to reach full coverage on. At least I did the other day when I was swatching for photos. And there you have it. You have full coverage of Avril in just 2 coats. It is a really nice color, actually. I quite like it. Next up, we have Rue, which is another re-release that I actually remember because I contemplated getting it one time. And this one is a really nice shade. It's a really good neutral, like if you needed something super professional or just something very, you know, not flashy on your nails for sure. You just needed a good neutral. This is great because it looks very sophisticated. It's kind of a mauve, I would say, with the ever slight hint of a lavender going on in there. But I feel like this is something that's going to look good on a lot of skin tones, actually. So there is one coat. As you can see, that was a really good one coat. Only on the side right there is there a little sheer little spot. But definitely it's going to be full coverage in 2 coats. Okay, it is now time for our second coat of Rue. This is just a really nice polish, actually. So there is 2 coats, and we have definitely hit full coverage. Next up, we have Abbey, which is a light purple that I already showed you guys in this video. This is actually my second favorite out of this bunch because it is really lovely, Brighton being my first favorite. But Brighton was also a new one, and this must be a re-release. I have not personally used it before, so it is like new to me. And it is just lovely. I feel like I don't see many purples like this come out in this cream formula. I feel like most of them are those neon pastels, which tend to be a bit more chalky. So to have Zoya put out a color like this is kind of exciting, and it's fun. And even though this is a bridal collection, I feel like this one in particular is a very spring to me, which, I mean, I think we're all wanting some spring weather about now. So there is one coat, as you can see. I mean, it's almost full coverage. If you were going to be like doing a gradation with this or some nail art on top, you might be able to get away with just one coat. But we are going to let this dry and go in for a second. Okay, it is now time that we go in for our second coat of Abbey. Again, I really just love this polish. It's a beautiful shade of purple. And yeah. There is your 2 coats. I realize I messed up the side a little bit, but there's 2 coats of Abbey. Next up, we have a light baby blue, which is called Blue, as in B-L-U. This, again, is actually one that I'm familiar with. I have had this in my stash for many years now, and I use it very frequently. So if you guys are frequent blog readers or you follow me on Instagram, you have probably seen this used many times for nail art, and I'm realizing that on this white background, this polish is not showing up that well. But there is one coat of blue, and I personally love this polish. I feel like the formula has changed a little bit because this bottle is a bit more streaky than my actual original bottle is, but we are probably still going to get full coverage in 2 coats. Okay, to help make the contrast from my nail to the white background, I have quickly added in a glitter background just to hopefully help this be easier to see. And I'm jumbling my words. That's what happens when you film at midnight, I guess. So now we are just applying our second coat of blue, which is, again, it's one of my favorite cream polishes to use as a nail art base. I just do kind of feel like this formula is different than my original bottle, but it's still pretty good, and we have full coverage in just 2 coats. Now next up and lastly for this little video, I have Snow White, which is exactly what it sounds like. It is a white, and I'm actually, again, also familiar with this one. When I use Zoya white polish, this is the one that I grab for. I try to have a white polish that I like from each brand, and this is actually one of my top white polishes. It is a bit more sheer than some of the others that I use, but because of its evenly sheerness, if that's even a thing, because it goes on evenly sheer, it makes it so for a pretty quick process of application. So there is one coat. It's a little streaky, but in that second coat, you're not going to be able to tell. So I feel like that kind of works as a good white, because sometimes you want that extra 2 coats. You don't want a really thick white polish that kind of has weird lines in it. So there is one coat of Snow White. And now it is time for our second coat of white, and I am looking at the viewfinder thing, and my coloration has gone off on my finger. So I apologize for the super red finger. It's actually not. It's the same color as it was before. The camera just went all weird. So here is our second coat. As you can see, it applies really nicely, and it's not like, it is a white, but I feel like it's not maybe as bright as some other whites, which makes it nice to have something just kind of like a neutral white. Is that even a thing? Like, how many shades of white can one have? But maybe I'm just imagining things. But there is your 2 coats for full coverage of Snow White. And here is your final look at all of the shades that have been released in the Bridal Bliss collection. As for any update on Erika, I will let you know down in the description box if I have found that it is different from the first release, which I do have the original release to compare it to. So be sure to check that out if you want to know. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you would like more swatch videos like this, be sure to like it so I will know to do more. And be sure to subscribe to stay up on all the latest, because I have a lot of fun videos planned. Thanks again so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!